Hey, everybody, grace and peace. We're back. You did not see a thumbnail. You did not see a title. So I was going through a couple of videos, doing a little bit of editing over here on this Lord's Day, and I came across something I really want to share with y'all because I think it's extremely, extremely insightful. So shout out to you all. Thank you so much to everybody who's jumped in to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much for tapping into the most electrifying comment section. I really do appreciate you. Hopefully you had a wonderful Lord's Day. I had a great day with my family. Started off with a little bit of drama. Mama, dear Woe Christian, had an accident at home. She had everybody all stressed out and the such like that. Paramedics called, all that kind of craziness. And then she still made it to church on time. Like, we still made the church on time, which is crazy work, right? So shout out to my mom, stressing me out, making sure that my heart rate is up every morning. That's her. Shout out to my mom. So anyway, she's good to go. Thank y'all so much to everybody who prays for her, because I'm telling you right now, that woman is going to be, woo, she got all of us all stressed out. But that's my mom. Shout out for sure. Hopefully you all had a great, uneventful Lord's Day on your end as well. So shout out to everybody. I appreciate you. Samurai up in the building says, yo, grace and peace to you. Thank you so much. What we got over here? Good to see you. CC, waving back at you, friend. Grace and peace to you. So I wanted to do this very quickly. I'm not going to be here super long. First of all, it appears that I got my audio working. I think I was messing around with it. I didn't think it sounded perfect. So I was playing around with it here last night, early this morning, which is crazy. We're not going to talk about that. But I want to make sure the audio sounds right. So apparently the audio sounds good because nobody said anything. So I clearly fixed whatever the problem was that I thought I heard. So shout out to everybody for that. So one of the things, so let's get into the meat of the matter, because I'm not going to be super long, I don't think. One of the reasons why many people theorize, speculate, hypothesize that Candace attacks Erica is because she secretly loved Charlie Kirk. Now, of course, we're all speculating, and I think we're just asking questions, as people like to say, as they like to say. And I've always said I've said that from the early onset, that was the reason why. But I think this gentleman did a much better job explaining it, maybe because he's a doctor, I don't know. But it's Dinesh D'Souza. And in the video that he did, it's called Charlie's Angels. He explained, and I don't know how I missed this, because this is the same video where he interviews Dr. Bob, who is the donor that pulled money from Turning Point. So I don't know how, maybe I was just focused on Dr. Bob and I didn't pay attention to this, whatever. So he does a little segment and explains his theory about Candace secretly having emotional feelings for Charlie Kirk. And he explains it so much better. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring this on and I'm just gonna let y'all hear it. So shout out to Dinesh D'Souza. If you're interested, the full video is down in the description of this video. So please go check him out. Definitely support what he's doing over there. So let's bring this in. I just want to hear what y'all think about it. So let's bring it on. Let's go.
I also know people who are very close to Charlie and were and are very close to Candace. And through them, I believe I figured out what's going on with Candace and Charlie and Erica. It's a dark triangle of a familiar sort, but with distinctive elements. Consider the story of a young man who becomes hugely successful through his entrepreneurial genius, his gift of the gab, and his organizational skills. He creates a huge organization, absolutely blowing away other conservative youth organizations. In the process, he befriends Trump and Vance, and he creates a massive donor network. He becomes Charlie Kirk. But Charlie Kirk is, in some respects, an awkward fellow. He has lots of male buddies, but he doesn't relate romantically to women. I know this from an elderly lady who is one of Charlie's big supporters and was also a longtime friend. She came on board with Charlie from the earliest days. She tried to set Charlie up with a number of young women from prominent families, including the Charles Schwab family, but she says none of the women were interested. Their common complaint, quote, "Charlie is a nerd. I don't have any chemistry with him." Charlie was a successful guy who hadn't found a woman to marry. This is not to say he didn't have women friends, he did, but he related to them as buddies. Hey, they might as well have been male. Charlie talked to them like business associates in some cases and like locker room pals in other cases. Now, Candace was in the latter category. She was a close locker room buddy of Charlie's. They hung out a lot, they swapped messages, they confided in each other. But here's the key point. For Charlie, Candace was merely a buddy, kind of like Tyler Boyer or Andrew Colvett. These guys, whom I also know, are now two of the key figures running Turning Point. Charlie would no more think of making the moves on Candace than he would think of making the moves on Tyler or Andrew. Charlie's relationship with Candace was, from Charlie's point of view, platonic. But from
Okay, so I think most people can see that. If they were just looking at Charlie Kirk just being fair and reasonable, he did seem kind of awkward around the ladies. He didn't seem like a ladies' man, if you will. So now let's see, and let's transition to maybe how Candace felt about Charlie. And if you watch this, you'll start playing in your mind when Candace was talking about how he was trying to date and trying to be cool and how he looked. It almost sounds like she's trying to make it sound like she herself was not, like she was separate from him. When she says he was like a little brother to her, it sounds like she's working hard to make that claim. You know what I mean? It sounds like she's trying to make it sound like that. Like, oh, no, that's just my little brother. It seems like that. So anyway, shout out to Dinesh. And if you just jumped in, this video that I'm looking at, Charlie's Angels by Dinesh D'Souza, is down in the description. I don't know how I missed this. I really don't.
Candace's point of view, not platonic, or at least not according to my sources. Candace was definitely interested in Charlie. Candace saw Charlie as some kind of cosmically important figure, just like her. Candace has made some strange references to how both she and Charlie had extraterrestrial powers. Maybe Candace thought the two of them were celestial beings placed on Earth to find each other. And then, horror of horrors, Charlie picks Erica. Erica. Now you have to understand not what Erica Kirk really is, but what Erica Kirk represents from Candace's point of view. In reality, Erica seems to be a lovely person, beautiful, accomplished, someone who came out of the world of pageants and modeling, but also established herself as an entrepreneur and a career professional. And of course, she also seems to be a devoted mom. This is how Charlie saw Erica, and this is how most people see her as well. But
I like that, because if people are being fair, if you had not been sucking at the teat of Candaspiracy, most people would probably give Erica a lot of grace. They probably would be very proud of her, give her lots of kudos, lots of accolades. The reason people don't is because they've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok by Candace. That's it. Most people probably would never have said the things that they're saying about Erica if it hadn't been for Candace. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go.
not Candace. From Candace's viewpoint, Erica is a nobody. What does she know about politics, this Arizona beauty queen? She's a bimbo. She's a peasant. She's completely removed from the brightly illuminated celestial realm inhabited by special creatures like Candace and Charlie. Besides, how did Erica jump out from behind the curtain and grab this guy? Why on earth did he go for her? After all, he and Candace had been close for so long. I believe Candace came to the conclusion that Charlie was hers by destiny, by divine right. And the fact that Charlie and Erica ended up together was more than she could bear. Candace has always been somewhat unhinged, but now she went completely berserk. She was inconsolable in her rage. She developed a vendetta. Envy is a very powerful force in human nature. I'm reminded of Othello, Shakespeare's great saga about the fruits of envy. In Othello, the envious man is Iago, and in the play, he expresses the nature of envy powerfully, but not in a line about Othello, but rather about another attractive figure, Cassio. Iago says of Cassio, "He hath a daily beauty in his life that makes me ugly." And Iago plots his vendetta against both Cassio and later Othello. Now, part of Iago's dark cleverness is to recognize things that are true but that public opinion cannot acknowledge. Iago knows, for example, that Othello is black, and that makes him strange, controversial, even repulsive in Christian Venice. But you can't say that, not even then, not even there, because Othello is also a war hero. But Iago plays on Othello's blackness to carry out his plot against him. Now, Candace, like Iago, knows that there is a public mythology about Charlie and Erica that developed after Charlie's assassination. It's not that different from what happened to JFK. Suddenly, after the assassination, JFK became this wonder boy. His wife became the paragon of beauty and culture. None of this was actually true. Camelot was a public myth. Same with Charlie and Erica. They've been canonized into something far more than they were. Candace sees behind that veil. Her attack on Erica is based on the premise, let me show you the real Erica behind the veil of public sanctimony. This is the key to the fascination with Candace's Bride of Erica series. From the point of view of her devotees, Candace is exposing the real Erica. Candace, like Iago, has a vendetta, but against whom? The conventional view is that Candace is
Okay, so this is where I was like, wow, I've said it. So I want you to think, who does Candace have beef with? Who does she have issue with? Is it Erica? In the chat, if you think it's Erica, put E or EK in the chat if you think it's Erica. But if you think it's Charlie, put CK in the chat. Who does she really have issue with? Who is she mad at? And then, okay, all right. Do you think it's Erica? Do you think it's Charlie? Who do you think she's mad at? Everyone. Well, I mean, there's that. Both. Okay. All right. So I've said that I thought she was most mad at Erica. She's mad at everybody. LOL. All the K's, everybody. If your last name is Kurt, she's mad at you. Okay, I got you. Okay. But think about it. And Dinesh said it before. She saw herself and Charlie as equals. She saw herself and Charlie as, he didn't say soulmates, but like they were destined to be together. So Charlie made a pick for somebody that wasn't her, that she sees as lesser. So what did Charlie do? He betrayed her. So her issue actually is with Charlie. And that makes so much, again, I've said it, so I'm not trying to give myself kudos at all. I said it, but Dinesh made it so much clearer. I'm like, oh, I could give him shots for that. So she hates everybody. Y'all are wild. But it makes perfect sense why she's mad at Charlie, why she's upset with Charlie. It's not because he betrayed her by choosing Erica. That makes it. So she's not mad at Erica per se. She's mad at Charlie for choosing Erica. Therein is the problem.
Conducting a character assassination campaign against Erica. Most of the comments I see from Candace's critics are focused on protecting Erica's reputation. But this, I think, misses the point. From Candace's point of view, nothing could be more obvious than Erica wanting Charlie. Why wouldn't she want to marry the prince? The real mystery is why Charlie wanted Erica and chose Erica over Candace. Why did Charlie make Erica Charlie's angel? I think I know the answer to that. Charlie recognized Candace's talent, her dark energy, but he also knew he didn't want it in his home. Charlie might have been awkward, but he was, in a way, wise. He knew that Erica would be a nicer, prettier, more stable life partner than Candace could ever be. Imagine being married to Candace. Imagine being her husband. Imagine life in that household. Yeah, I'd like to be a fly on that wall. I bet I'd have enough gossip to last a lifetime.
So if you think about it, just think about it. Think about how different Charlie Kirk is from George Farmer, whom Candace actually married. Think about how different those two men are. So again, just making just asking the questions, speculating if Candace really wanted Charlie Kirk, but she married somebody so different in the form of George Farmer. Look what she got. And look what marrying George Farmer got her. It's just something to consider. Let's go.
Yet for Candace, Charlie's decision to choose Erica was the real betrayal. What I'm suggesting, and this is merely my psychological take on a strange and complex subject, is that Candace's target is not Erica, but Charlie. Candace's vendetta is against Charlie. Charlie's my friend. That's what Candace says repeatedly. She implies she's doing it all for Charlie. But that is the great deception here. Worthy of Iago, Charlie was her friend. But then Charlie not only chose Erica over her, but just as significant, he expelled Candace from his orbit in large part because of Erica. No one saw Candace at Charlie's memorial. That's because she wasn't there. She wasn't invited. So that's when Candace became Maleficent, the Wicked Witch of the West, and when this vendetta got started. Debbie and I watch a lot of true crime stories. The standard plot is different from what we've been talking about, but it's still illuminating for our purpose here. Man and woman have a long-term marriage, but over time their romantic relationship dissolves and they're just roommates, just friends. Man takes up with younger, attractive woman. Suddenly they are always together, hand in hand, lovey-dovey. They're soulmates, made for each other. They do everything together. His old partner cannot understand it. What do those two have in common? And soon that incomprehension turns to rage, and sometimes that rage is aimed at the man, not the woman. That's when the criminal plot to destroy him gets underway. It's a familiar plot line, and I think the parallels are obvious to our situation here. But there's a deeper point I want you to consider. Vendettas are typically between equals. A duke doesn't have a vendetta against a serf. Dukes don't fight duels against serfs. The Duke of York will fight a duel, but only against the Duke of Sussex. Candace fancies herself an aristocrat. Hey, have you noticed who she married in the end? A British aristocrat, or maybe pseudo-aristocrat. In any case, she went for European royalty, which is fairly common in Europe these days and is also colloquially known as Euro trash. But my point here is that Candace isn't dueling with Erica because she doesn't consider Erica to be her equal. She's really battling with Charlie. Or perhaps today we'd have to say she's battling with Charlie's ghost. Erica, bride of Charlie. Think about that title. Erica is the subject, but her only identification is Bride of Charlie. Charlie is the real villain of the story, and it's Charlie's reputation, perhaps even Charlie's memory, that this strange, angry, vengeful woman is bent on destroying through her relentless crusade. And that's the way I see it.
Shout out to Dinesh. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that that's a crazy idea? Do you think that's a crazy argument that really, and we've all theorized on it. I've heard multiple people even here in this chat theorize that that Candace really is mad at Charlie, that Candace really hates Charlie. She never did. She wasn't in good company with Charlie before his death, and so on and so forth. So do you agree with Dinesh? Not crazy at all. I think he's right on the money. I just like the way he said it. Let me just say that. Many people have said it, but I just like the way he said it and put it out there in such a good, digestible form. Like, shout out for sure. He's spot on. Absolutely. If Candace had a happy marriage herself, oh my gosh, I don't even need to read the rest of the sentence. I don't even need to read the rest of this comment because I already know where you're going to go with the first opening salvo. You done dropped a nuclear bomb right there. If Candace had a happy marriage herself, she wouldn't be so venomous toward Erica. I mean, if she had married George and George was a true come up from Charlie Kirk, where she saw herself achieving higher and greater, come on, 3524, right there. I think you're right on the nose. What did Adam say? Shout out to you. I think he is right on the nose. Well, there you go, right on the nose. Shout out to you, Adam. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Look, there's a degree of hate for both of them. Yes, you can't say that she cares about Erica and what she's doing about Erica. But why does she hate Erica? It's because, why does she despise Erica? It's because Erica was chosen by Charlie, and he is the one that did the big deed of sin. I just kind of wonder what would have happened if Charlie Kirk had not passed away. What would have happened if this had gone on for like 10 years? I just kind of wonder if everything else the same, Tucker going in the direction he's going, the war in Iran, the foolishness with Israel, if all of that was still going on, Charlie Kirk did not die. I just wonder what would have been the position between TPUSA and Candace, Charlie and Candace, and such of that nature. That's just my thought. Shout out for sure. What do we have here? She's a coward because she can only do this because Charlie isn't here to defend himself or what he has built up. And that is cowardly. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much. More resentment than hate. Okay, I can dig that, Michael. No argument for me whatsoever. What he said, damn, my birthday is the May 31st, 2 months. Okay. Shout out to your birthday. All right. Shout out. Make sure, hey, happy birthday to you, Lord willing. You'll see many, many, many more. Yeah, I don't, but would she still be at, would she have just been sitting there pretending to be a conservative? Pretending to care about the things that conservatives here in the United States care about? Or would she have just gone full mask off and just still gone in the direction? I don't know. Like, that's a good question. I think that's a thought experiment that we'll of course never know, but just something to think about. I don't think the crazies would be as crazy. Okay, I can give you that. I can give you that for sure. For sure. All right. There we go. She didn't attack TPUSA until immediately after his death. Right. So I'm just wondering what would have happened if Charlie Kirk had never, he's still happily married to Erica, all that kind of good stuff's going on. Nothing had happened at UVU, just the normal transitions of life. Venezuela, what happened in New York, all of that stuff happened, but none of the shenanigans around TPUSA, Erica, and Charlie. I just wonder what would have happened with Candace. Just a thought. But that wasn't to take away from what Dinesh said. Shout out to Dinesh D'Souza. The video for that is down in the description. Again, it's the same one where he's talking to Dr. Bob, the donor who took money away because of turning Charlie's affinity with Tucker and others like that. But I just thought it was interesting. It was good. I was like, I don't know how I missed him breaking that down, so I wanted to share that with y'all. So thank y'all so much for tapping in. I really do appreciate it. I think, what does she say here? She says, I think she would continue to be a gossip queen. She likes conflict. Because remember, at that point, the Macron case was really on the downswing. Nobody was caring about the becoming Brigitte. Nobody cared about that. And I mean, I hate to say it, but Charlie Kirk's passing saved her numbers, because her numbers weren't really like that right now. And that's how she bounced back. But if that hadn't happened, I wonder what would have been her move. All right. Shout out for sure. I saw this. Thank you so much. I saw this. I just haven't had an opportunity to actually check out the video, and I will try my best to get at it. Maybe when we get done here, but I did see the video. So I did see that you sent it to me. So I will make sure soon enough. I will make sure soon enough to address it though. Thank you, friend. Yep, I got it right here. Let me make sure I let you know. All right, I'm just letting you know real quick. All right, good people. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Like I said, this was just a quick little live stream. Didn't really have a lot. I just wanted to go over Dinesh's video and then hear what y'all say. She was on the Macron case. Kick, if you will. Don't quote me on this because I'm going from memory. I think she started in March of 2025. Now I gotta go look. Now I feel like I might be making that up. I think she started in March 2025. And so she had wore the wheels off of it for sure. It might have been a little bit longer than that. I don't remember. But it was a daily, gossip situation for sure. So I gotta dig through all these crates. I'll make sure I have an answer for you, or somebody else will also get you an answer as well. Yeah, Dinesh really has a keen eye, to say the least. All right, let me see. Let's see. Oh, it was March 2024. Okay, so yeah, she had been better than a year. All right, so she started on March. She started in March of 2024. So she had been going for pretty much a year by the time Charlie Kirk passed away. Just a regular assault on her. So about a year. Good people. What do we got here? Yeah, good people, good folk. All right, lots of good conversation going on. I see. Let me check on one person. All right, let me see. All right. Okay. I appreciate y'all hopping in today. Looks like some good folks and good things have popped in. Oh, I do want to let you know that if you're following my Book of James series, we've already uploaded my pastor's sermon from today. Faith without works is dead. And I think you'll enjoy it. So it was an excellent sermon. So that is in my Book of James playlist. So if you're looking on the channel, if the mods could drop it in the chat, I'll drop it. I got it right here. I think you'll enjoy it. So, and we've been going through the Book of James at my church. So I thought it would be great for you all if you're interested in that. And drop the link to that right here in the chat. And we're off to the races. There we go. If you'd like to, there it is right there. A lot of good people in the chat. I do appreciate y'all. Right. I mean, when we consider maybe some of the benefits that Candace has reaped from the passing of Charlie Kirk, or maybe why she might have had extra motivation. I mean, that doesn't sound like a crazy statement anymore. It sounded crazy if you don't consider what she could have benefited from it. And now you know what she could benefit from. You're like, yikes, maybe she did play a role in it. And if you missed this Dinesh's video, it's down in the description. Y'all go check them out afterwards. I thought it was super helpful. Again, giving you a good understanding of just why it is. Again, this is Dinesh's opinion on why Candace is doing what she's doing. I thought it was super on the nose. What's going on, Texas mother? How are you? Good afternoon, y'all. Hello. I've been on live for about 30 minutes, give or take. Let me see. Per her own logic, why wouldn't she play a part in Charlie's? Right. I don't know. That's a great point. After all, everyone betrayed Charlie. She did say it. She did say it. Yes, this is the video. I'm sorry. This is the video, Bella, where he interviews Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob, the donor. I do want to encourage you all, if you get an opportunity, Eclectic Journalist. I haven't had a chance to finish the video, but Eclectic Journalist did a great video about Candace, and I just thought it was very helpful. I did do a little bit, shout out, doing a little bit of work out there on these YouTube streets. And let me put that in the chat as well. I thought she did a great job of breaking it down. There's some excellent content creators out there, and I did say I want to make sure we start shining the light on some other content creators as well. So Eclectic Journalist. Did a video called Candace Owens and the Narrative Machine. and drop that. So I'm gonna put that in the chat as well. It's a little bit longer, and I don't know if we were gonna be here that long to go over it, but I do want to encourage y'all to check it out for sure. So let me put that in there for eclectic. I'd love for y'all to check out. Bang. What did you say here? You said Candace and the Catholic Church inspired against Charlie over his sadness. Okay. I don't think I don't think that's a lap too far. Yes, there we go. Check that video out. I think you'll enjoy it. And of course, Natalie's been doing great videos, as well as Edie. And we'll do a better job over here, maybe using the pin posts or the community posts to highlight some of these, because I think you'll get a lot out of them. So shout out for sure. What do we have here? Oh, because of the Sabbath. Okay. Okay, let me see right here. It changed my word from sadness. Oh, okay, I got you. Yo, the autocorrect on YouTube it should be a crime. It's a crime. It just correct. It does whatever it wants to do. Just tell the truth. It just does whatever it feels like doing. So I'm not surprised. Shout out for sure. How do we grab the links? What do you mean? The link to Dinesh's video is down in the description. Wow, what do you mean? What do you mean? You might be on the other, maybe say other link. I'll make sure they're in the description as well, but I think I know what you're talking about. Shout out for sure. All right, so I'm gonna make sure they're in the vertical as well as the horizontal stream as well. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. It's right there though. I think they're there. If you just click on the links, if you're on the videos, if you're on the horizontal or the vertical stream, if you just click on it, they're right there, and you can open them up and then save it, or open it up in another browser or whatnot like that. All right, so they're there. You got it. You got it. No problem. What do you say, Adam? How close to eating French toast? Well, I'm a little bit behind now. Let's talk about that. So my goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of April. I'm a little bit behind. I got 68,000 at the current moment. So lots of people subscribing. I just don't have enough. I needed a big number like in February. I needed like a massive number to really push me over the edge and kind of get me where I'm starting to build like with a snowball. So I'm a little bit behind, but hey, if it happens in May, if it happens tomorrow, if it happens by the end of the summer, whenever, I'll be ready to eat my French toast and peanut butter. Thank you so much for checking on that though. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. What do you have here? I think Candace ratings would have declined if Charlie was here. That's a fair point. That is more than a fair point. So, so the argument is, and this is from Rage Bronson, that the best thing ever, all right, the best thing ever in life is French toast with peanut butter on it. In my mind, that doesn't work. In my thought process and such of that nature, I'm like, I don't think that works. I don't think that works. But I said, I will do a live stream. There's a French bakery close to my house, and it's actually really good. I will say that. A French restaurant, they have a bakery restaurant. And I said, I will do a live stream from the French bakery, getting me, and they got that big, super big French toast. It's like, looks like a brick. So I said, I will go there. I will get me some French toast. I will buy some peanut butter. I will slather that joker on there, and I will eat it. And I will give like a live taste test and theory about French toast with peanut butter. I personally am with you, Kay, my way. Me and you are kind of probably on the same wavelength. I'm not 100% certain it's going to be good, but Rage Bronson swears by it. I will also, because Jay from Storybox challenged me as well to hit my 100,000 subscribers, I will also try Vegemite, which is some kind of Australian spread that you put on toast. Now, fun fact, there's an Australian bakery close to my house as well. We're very eclectic out here in Cobb County. So I went by to check out. They do sell Vegemite. And I said, I'm going to try. I'm going to get me some toast. I'm going to do the whole deal, and I'll do another one. So I need to hit my 100,000 subscribers, and then we're off to the races. We'll just figure it out from there. Wait, now you're going to try with almond butter? I was just going to try regular peanut butter. I got to try with almond butter? Y'all, wow, man. Cream cheese? How did we get here? Oh, I'm going to try. I just want to see what the whole hype is about. You do have me worried, though, Bill, the way you say that. Like, dang, you actually added please to the end of it. That's a little, gosh, man. Well, at the current moment, we're safe. Y'all mess it up and get me 100,000 subscribers, and then we got to have a conversation. A thin, really? Is it bad? I have no opinion. It's not butter. No, it's not butter. I got to do it for the people, man. I got to do it for Jay. We need to tell Jay to come to Atlanta. That would be fun. Jay, come to Atlanta, and then we'll do Vegemite over at the Australian bakery. On tortillas? What are we putting Vegemite? Look, the way it sounds, it does sound bad. But I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it to taste. And look, we had Jay from Australia come on. We had a little conversation. Somehow another Vegemite entered the chat. We were talking about it, and I said, hey, when I hit 100,000, I'll go do a taste test so we'll know, because I will tell you if it's good or bad. I like toast with peanut butter. There y'all go again with that peanut butter and banana stuff. Who else said that? Somebody else said that peanut butter and banana is a real thing. Like, y'all, stop it. It's super salty, really? Oh, wait. I mean, let's not let this hold y'all back to actually subscribe now, people. Let's not let that be the case, right? Crawl before you walk. That phrase has always made me laugh. Start with good old peanut butter, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so I'm going with French toast and peanut butter. I have no problem with peanut butter. I got no problem with it. Now, Adam did say I might want to try almond butter. I can do that. I can work with that. So this is how we're gonna do it, because I know everybody here is gonna hit that subscribe button, help your guy out, right? I'm gonna go to the French bakery and I'm gonna live stream it there. I'm gonna get my little French toast, maybe have them split it in 4 pieces. I'll try it the normal way, try it with the peanut butter, try it with the almond butter, and then try the last piece as the normal piece to kind of clean my palate, right? And again, it's around the corner from the Australian bakery. So then maybe we'll, hang out and we'll go do a live stream for lunch and go over to Australian bakery and get the Vegemite, and we'll try that. We'll see. We're doing it for the people, though. This is hilarious. I cannot wait. They also have sunflower. Yeah, I've tried sunflower. Sunflower butter is just too soupy. It just doesn't seem like there's enough. It's always oily. It's always super, like you can pour it out of the jar. Sun butter, I believe it is. You can almost pour it out of the jar. It's just too soupy for me. Almond butter, I'll go with almond butter. I'm not going to go with sunflower butter. I will turn you down on that one, though. Peanut butter is good. If you mix some maple syrup in it, it's the only way I would put it on French toast. I got to try this. I got to do the peanut butter on the French toast. I'm gonna start there. If we turn it into a thing, now I see Nutella that enter the chat. Now see that might now Nutella, that's just pure sugar though. I've really cut back on my sugar. So Nutella is definitely up there on the list of really good flavors. So I'm just gonna stick with peanut butter, almond butter, and that's it. You're not gonna trick me. This Vegemite is yucky. Really? You don't like? Really? I can get down with some Nutella though. I can mess up some Nutella. Sunflower oil is bad for you, and I don't know if sunflower butter is unhealthy too. Sunflower oil. Yeah, because most Most of the time when I've gotten sunflower seed butter or sunflower butter, whatever, it's super oily. I didn't know that sunflower oil was bad for you. Really? What's wrong with that? Dang, man, everything trying to kill you. I eat like we having a full on Biscoff cookie butter. Thank me later. Biscoff cookie butter. What is that? What? Now Biscoff cookies. Now your boy flew last week, and hey, I did talk to the flight attendant and to give me some extra cookies. What's Biscoff? What is that? You people come up with some of the best things. Hold on, hold on. I do have to look that one up. What is that? That is the most American looking thing. What is this? Biscoff. Really? It's just cookie butter? And they got it at Kroger too. Boy, you better leave me alone, Kroger. Because you know now they're gonna send me a coupon for it or something crazy. What is this? Why help? Who came up with this? Why do people come up with this? Okay. PMD 41. We might have to have like a sidebar conversation about that. Like just me and you. We might have to have a little side conversation. We don't want anybody else to check this out. I might possibly, because I got to take chief executive second born to the grocery store today. It's possible, but I can't promise you. I'll let you know though. Between me and you. Man, Nutella is catching hands up in here, y'all. Like Nutella, y'all are the anti-Nutella. Really? I mean, Future done gave it like a rating, like we're in the Olympics or something. We are in the peanut butter spread Olympics, and cookie butter, which sounds weird. Like, but what is cookie butter? Hold on, look. I'm gonna share this with y'all because we gotta look this up. This is some crazy work. How did we get here? We just over here having this show has definitely gone off the rails. All right. Cookie butter is a sweet, spiced spread made from ground up spolorious cookies, similar to the texture of peanut butter, but with a flavor profile of cinnamon, ginger, and cloves. I mean, that's a triplet right there, man. That's a trifecta of amazingness. Cinnamon, ginger, and cloves. It's popular alternative to nut butters in Europe and is used as a dip, filling an ingredient in desserts, with Lotus Biscoff being its well-known brand. Yeah, Biscoffs are crazy. Okay. I'd never heard of cookie butter. So like what makes it now I want to see let me see what the ingredients are. What's in this thing? I want to see the ingredients. Okay, hold on a second. Share this with y'all crazy. All right. Biscoff cookies, wheat flour, sugar, vegetable oils contains one or more soybean oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, palm brown, sugar syrup, everything that'll kill you, anything to make your nose grow, canola oil, sugar, soy lectin, and citric acid. Okay. I've never seen this before. What were they thinking? Okay. That is amazing. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. So it's a real thing. I have no clue how we got here. How do you feel about cheesecake chat? Mm. Well, for the most part, I think I'm pro cheesecake. I'm not against it. I probably wouldn't go and buy like a whole cheesecake and crush it, but hey, there goes eclectic journalist. Here we go. How are you? Good to see you. Raspberry from Cheesecake Factory. All right. Yeah, I think For the most part, I think we're pro cheesecake, I think, right? I don't know how we got here. I really don't. PMP said his diabetes in a jar, but you'll go to heaven happy. That is hilarious. Where's this comment? It's got lost in here. That's hilarious. Well, okay now, Bill. Hold on now. You told me not to eat Vegemite. Now you can't be eating peanut butter. I mean, cheesecake every meal. Now, come on now. Come on now. You gotta at least save a little bit for the Vegemite. A little bit. Just a little bit. How do we get on this? I have no idea. This is crazy. Oh, now that's something I don't eat. I haven't had very much of tiramisu. I mean, it sounds cool, but okay. Let me tell you. Okay, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a story time. I'm gonna tell you a story. All right. So one of my teaching years, I won't say when because I don't want to get this person in trouble. My team, the grade level that I was on, we would do like meals as a team. So we would do something like once a year, not once a year, for everybody's birthday, right? So on your birthday, we would like everybody would bring cake or whatever it was that you wanted for your birthday. So like if I wanted, we would order tacos or something for my birthday. So this particular year was this person's birthday, and one of my teammates made a rum cake, and it was funny because the rum cake was super thick and very moist. Like, man, you made a great rum cake. This rum cake is really good. You made a great rum cake. We speculate that she might have put too much rum in it. Because we were joking about how she was behaving the rest of the day. And like, girl, did you put too much rum in this cake? It just, she was she was very excited about being at work, very excited about life in general. Like, you weren't excited like that before you had this rum cake, this very thick, very moist rum cake. So we would joke about this. Even to this day, we still, whenever we talk, if we talk too long, the rum cake scenario comes back into play. I don't think that she did. We just joke and pointed out that she did. And it was just hilarious that she made this rum cake and we think she overdid it. So anyway, that's story time with Whitaker. Yeah, I'm not saying that happened. I just cannot confirm nor deny that it didn't happen. How about that? It was just a funny story. We still joke about it to this day. I might even text them right now and say rum cake, and they'll probably all laugh. Jack Daniels cake? What the heck is that? Y'all just be making up stuff. Y'all just be making up stuff. What is Jack Daniels cake? Y'all are wild. That is the wild. I probably already know what it is. I just have never heard that before. MRE pound cake is pretty good too. I don't even want to know what MRE pound cake is. I had an MRE one time and it was a very interesting experience. I wanted to taste it. I tried it and I'm not going to do that again. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. And probably because you already have like this preconceived in your mind that MREs, and this is probably me. Let me just fess up. My name is Jason. I'm just going to tell the truth. I feel like it probably wasn't going to be that. It probably wasn't that bad. I just thought it was going to be horrible. And I think I just kind of postured it like it was the worst thing I'd ever tasted in my life and I was going to die. It probably wasn't that bad. I just really couldn't wrap my mind around it that it was going to be good. Wait, I have 3 boxes of MREs. Whoa. Now I'm not going to go that far. Now let's not get crazy up in here, people. But I think I really just kind of talked myself out of it before I ever tried it. Because it probably really, in retrospect, I don't remember. I'm trying to think what it was that I had. It wasn't something that was super out of the norm. It wasn't like, I don't remember. I really don't remember. I'm sitting here trying to process it again. So it shouldn't have been that bad. I don't think it was probably that bad. I probably just talked myself out of it. Wait, Dinesh Dinesh said the absolute truth. We all think it. You're right. You're right. You're right. No lie detected there. Really? If you live in earthquake country, we have MREs. Really? Okay. MREs are not so tasteful. They're made to make you constipated, but there are a couple of good ones. The ravioli ones are good though. I like ravioli. I'm not gonna lie. When I was a child, spaghettios, all those pastas in a can. Look, we were about that life. I can't tell you I would eat that today by any means. Was that spaghettios and ravioli and stuff like that out of a can? I can't promise you I would eat it today, but I don't look down on it because I mean they were good. So if that's what MREs are, just basically adult spaghettios or adult ravioli in a can, I could probably get down with that. Then I would definitely give a hat tip to um, MREs. I have no idea. How did we get here? How did we get here to talk about MREs? Here, I'm gonna text my coworker and tell her. I'm just gonna type rum cake and see what happens. We're still in a group chat, like literally to this day. Rum cake on my mind. Bang. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Chef Boyardee. Look, let me tell you something. Yeah, like you can. I wouldn't look down on my childhood. I'm not gonna even dog it out because we lived on those. I'd rather be a Dr. McCoy in space in Star Trek 5 and just cook a can of beans with whiskey over an open fire. That is crazy. Shout out to Star Trek. Let me see. Nobody's replied back. They probably got other things to be doing with their lives. Yeah, beans with whiskey is kind of wild work. I can see beans with like beer. I can see it, but I don't know. Wouldn't whiskey be like too much alcohol? I don't know. We are going way off the rails. We are way off the rails. But appreciate y'all. So real quick, I probably will be well, I will be tomorrow this week, 5 o'clock. We'll probably be doing a Charlie Kirk Q&A breakdown. So I have two guests that are slated to come, please forgive me. So I'll make sure we follow up with you all and let you all know that. So that's what's going on this week. Besides that, though, I think we have a pretty mellow week planned, but I do have some good videos dropping. Like this evening, I got my again, that whole project constipation foolishness with Erica Kurt. That thing is just so there's so much there when people really run to go find some kind of slop to throw out there in front of people to smear somebody. Is crazy work. So anyway, that video's um my look at what's her name, Nisi, who's a Candace clone. My video about her is going up this evening, and actually it's a clip out from a video that we did earlier. So just so you know that. I don't think he took the video down. That's a great question. Let's see if he took the video down. That would be a good indicator that Project Constipation has been flushed. Let's see. The video's still up. Video's still up. So nope. So all of that, I made a mistake. I didn't verify it is completely hogwash because he didn't. The video's still up. And just like that, I told y'all my coworkers hit me back and they're laughing about the rum cake. They're laughing about the rum cake. The bad thing is he doesn't really have a lot of views on it. The video is not doing that well, but I mean, it just goes to show like that that move was totally garbage. But anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. Peanut butter in a bowl and stir a little syrup on it and mix on spread. You'll love it. So I want to just see again. Rage Bronson said that peanut butter and French toast is the best thing ever. It'll change your life. Blah blah blah. So I want to just see what that tastes like before I add anything to it. And it'll be creamy peanut butter, y'all. Don't worry about that part. It'll be creamy. Oh, it will be creamy peanut butter. So I want to try that out. And then I might try the almond butter as well. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all. All right, lots of good commentary. I appreciate y'all for sure. Sweet, oh my gosh, what are we talking about? Sweet pickles in and of themselves are an abomination. With peanut butter? Oh my gosh, people, whoa, how did we get here? Yo, we're not, wait, hold on now. We don't need to start putting people in real time out for that. What in the world are we doing with pickles and peanut butter? People, let's not get beside ourselves. We are better people than this. So again, get me to 100,000 subs, and we will make it. Look, we'll just have to figure it all out. I'll walk to the market to walk off all this French toast y'all have me eating. I'll walk over there. It's about 7 miles, so that'll be a good little. That'll be a good little walk. You see, I mean, how far is that from my house? Mm. Oh yeah. I look. If I have to, I'll walk there and walk off the all these calories y'all got me eating over here. Oh, it's not that bad. It's actually only 5 miles. Shout out. Okay, it's 5 miles from my house. What's going on, good people? What's happening, urbanist? How are you? Has to be the right pickle. Y'all are really talking about that. Hey, look. Let's move on to happier topics. Let's move on to happier things. Like we're not going, we're not going there. Pickles and peanut butter? No, sir. No, ma'am. Now I had to put my foot down there. We're not doing that. We're better than this. Yeah, we got pickle war going on up in here. What are those pickles? They're called bread and butter pickles. Is that what they're called? Bread and butter? I can get down with those. I don't like sweet pickles per se, but bread and butter are like less sweet than just outright sweet pickles. I can get down with some bread and butter pickles, though, but I'm not putting on some peanut butter on them or cookie butter or whatever this stuff is over here. What in the world? How did we get here? Wait, let me see. Tree of Logic said that she has dirt, all the dirt on Candy's family, and will give to anyone who wants it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Eclectic journalist, are you aware of this? All right. Looking up here in the chat, spicy, spicy pickles. You mean like more spicy than like regular dill pickles? I don't think that's bad. I don't think yeah, I can rock with those. Pickles do seem like they're I can rock with spicy pickles, savory pickles, I guess. And like I said, them bread and butter ones, but like just outright sweet ones, that's not my jam. So I got you. Uh-oh, there we go. I like it. All right. My good people, thank y'all so much for tapping in. Um, my intention is to go live tomorrow. Of course, we're gonna do our 5 o'clock show and looking at a couple of Charlie Kirk's debates. That's some good ones. And I think that'll be a good time. I do have a couple guests, but I haven't nailed it down yet. So once we've slated it and made sure they're good to go and have a thumbnail, I'll make sure you all know. So I'll let you know. What are you talking about? We call them here in South Africa spicy mango pickles. Mango pickles? What you mean mango pickles? Okay, that's just I don't even know where to go with that one. Spicy mango pickles. Interesting. Y'all come up with some of the best stuff. Bread and butter pickles on peanut butter sandwich is even better than sweet pickles. I like bread and butter pickles like on a hamburger. Sign me up for that. On a sandwich, absolutely. Like a meat sandwich, absolutely. Peanut butter sandwich? I don't know, man. I think you might have lost connection over there. Uh, Relayer. We might have lost connection. New phone. Who's this? I don't know about that one. That one I don't think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna try the Vegemite. I don't think I'm gonna try that. Spicy mango pickles actually sound pretty good. I'm trying to process it though. Made with green mango. They are mangoes. I can send you a bottle or two. What? Green? Wait. Email me. I'm not above that. Wait, man. I'm my mind is not processing right now. The green mangoes that are made into pickles. What? Wow. I just got a lot of questions. Email me. E- Email me, but I might have to ask you like 1,500 questions before we get to the actual sending of it. Because, like, wait, spicy mango pickles over. Y'all better stop. Hold on. I saw a question I want to check out. Ah, okay. Please email me. Please email management. So, if I'm understanding it correctly, Vegemite is like a nutritional yeast or yeast that they use, nutritional yeast spread that's usually spread on toast and whatnot with butter in Australia. I was going to make once I hit 100,000 subscribers. There's a Australian market near me, bakery near me. They sell Vegemite. I was going to go get some Vegemite and taste it and try it out and give you some feedback. That's basically it. Matt Walsh did something else. Okay, Matt Walsh says, you know what? I did want to hear. Let me see. All right, I'm looking to find that Matt Walsh. I don't see it. What he said. I don't see what Matt Walsh said. If he said something new, I don't see it. And I do apologize. I didn't plan to pull that up. So, all right, now let me look again. Refreshing. I see him saying that flying the United States is a humiliation ritual, which is hilarious. Well, this is interesting. Okay, I just saw something on Matt Walsh's channel. I don't know what he's talking about, but let me ask y'all real quick. He did a quick video about having children. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know why. I'm gonna pull this in real quick, and I want to see what he's saying. I don't know why this jumped out to me. It looks kind of interesting. It is not what we've been talking about, but it's better than talking about peanut butter. And don't put peanut butter on your kids. So I do think that's probably the takeaway, the upshot from this is don't put peanut butter on your kids. All right, or Vegemite, anything like that. All right, real quick, let's see what Matt Walsh has to say about feminists and another extremely selfish and obnoxious article about parenting goes viral. Okay, let's see this. It looks interesting. So let me see real quick. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Finally, there's an article from New York Magazine that's good. There's some conversation about. There's a shocking, revolutionary, countercultural article, unlike anything that you've heard from the mainstream media before. And here's the caption for the article on X. And here's what it says. Sooner or later, everyone has to decide whether to give up lazy weekends, disposable income, and overall peace of mind to have a baby instead. For many of those on the fence, one anxiety looms large. What if I make the wrong choice? Parent regret is more common than you might imagine. The Reddit Regretful Parents alone gets around 70,000 weekly visitors who anonymously commiserate. The stigma finds it hard to admit in real life. Writer Bindu Bansanath, good American name, speaks with 3 moms of young children about why they wish they could go back to their old lives. Okay, so parental regret is the topic, and I admit I didn't actually read the article because it's behind a paywall, and I'm not going to pay for that, but I think we've already heard enough to understand the basic argument being made, which is the same argument that the antinatalist, nihilistic media always makes, and which is that having kids is terrible, and parents regret it, and it ruins their life. Now, there are 2 things that I would say in response. First of all, this is a false choice. I get really tired of the absurd kind of false dilemma we're constantly presented with. We're told that parents, have to decide whether to give up disposable income, lazy Saturdays, peace of mind. You can give it up and have kids, or you can keep all that and not have kids. But that is not correct. I reject that false binary. I am non-binary when it comes to that. Because I'll take it all. I'm greedy in that way. You can have it all. I mean, you can't have it all in the sense of having everything you want in life, but you can have the things I just mentioned and also have kids. That is a possible thing to do. You can have disposable income. You can have lazy weekends with kids. I mean, maybe not quite as lazy, but still pretty lazy. And you can have peace of mind. I don't know why you'd be giving that up at all. The idea that you have to give up one to have the other is a reflection of your own lack of ambition, your own lack of imagination, if anything. It's not some kind of law inscribed into the cosmos. It's not physics. It's not gravity. I'm not saying that parenting requires no sacrifice. Of course it does. You'll have to sacrifice money, time, even some of your Saturdays, God forbid, but you don't have to write those things off. You can still work towards a life with kids, with a family that is basically peaceful, includes plenty of time for relaxation, and also includes financial prosperity. The second point is that there is only one thing that will make you chronically miserable as a parent. There's really just one thing. And that thing.
Oh, all right. What do y'all think it is? I don't know. Shout out to Matt Walsh. I agree 100%. The only regret I have about having kids is that I wish we had more. That's probably it. Now, my daughters will say, Dad wishes he had a boy. Like, I'm fine with having a house full of girls. I got no problem with that. But I do wish we had more kids. That'd probably be my only pushback, is that I just wish we had more of them. And we had started earlier, because we waited until we had been married for 7 years before we started having kids. So I probably wish we probably would have got started sooner and had more of them. That's probably it. I don't understand. Like, why? What's wrong with kids? Like, what's wrong with other humans? I don't get that. That just makes no sense whatsoever to me. All right. So what is the reason why? I have no idea why they're talking about pickles. I have no idea. We've talked about pickles, peanut butter, cookie butter, and MREs. I have no idea. But okay, why is it that people don't want to have children? All right, let's go, Matt Walsh. Tell us. Break it down, brother.
Thing is selfishness.
Oh,
okay, immense joys are available to parents, a unique kind of happiness that non-parents cannot experience. But those joys do require you to, kind of pull your head out of your own ass for long enough to experience them. And if you can't do that, if you refuse to, then you'll be miserable all the time. But the good news, if you want to call it that, is that selfish people are miserable no matter what they do. So whether you have kids or not, so like there's no reason to regret it. You would have been miserable even without kids. Your circumstances don't determine your happiness nearly as much as you think they do. Circumstances can make happiness a little bit more or less easy to obtain, but they don't determine it. And this is a lesson that everybody learns as you grow older, or, if you're a mature person, you learn it. It's like people say, well, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, it's true in a sense. Like if you have no money, if you're broke and you fantasize about having money and you think that, well, once I have money, if I have real money, I'll be just exuberant with joy every second of the day. And many people discover if they get to the point where they have a lot of money and they had no money before, what they find is that, it does a great job of warding off financial anxiety, which is great. But, what you find is that, okay, like I have money now, but I'm still me. My life is still my life. It's I still have to live day to day. It's not a source of just constant happiness. Like I'm not just looking at my bank account every second of the day and being overwhelmed with happiness. It's kind of like once you're in that circumstance, you almost immediately take it for granted. And okay, this is my circumstance now. And if you expect that in and of itself to make you happy, then you're not going to be happy. And
I agree with that.
And that's the same thing with kids. If you're an unhappy person with kids, it's because you are an unhappy person without kids. Kids are not going to make you unhappy. They also won't make you happy.
I agree 100%. Like President Firstborn just literally texted me, and it didn't make me happy, but I enjoy talking to my kid. Chief Executive Secondborn is at a play with her mom, right? And we just we enjoy that kind of stuff. But me and my wife enjoyed being around each other before we had kids. And I enjoyed, for the most part, my life before I got married. So my wife didn't make me happy. Our kids don't make me happy. They add to my happiness, and sometimes my happy mess, but they don't. That's just such a weird take. Like, why don't you want to have kids? And again, I'm not down. Please, please, please do not hear what I'm not saying. I am not talking about people who made the choice not to have children and maybe they regret it now, or they're not able to have children for whatever reason. That's not the people I'm talking about. You are not. I am not trying to backhand talk about you. I'm talking about people who made the choice and still to this day don't want to have kids. I'm like, why not? Like, what's the purpose of that? So that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, shout out to Matt Walsh.
In the sense of just sort of forcing you to be happy, right? It's not like, think about wetness, being wet. That's a matter of circumstance. If you jump into water, you'll be wet.
Correct.
So if your problem is that you're too hot and you jump into water, well, you'll solve that problem.
Okay.
Water, in a sense, forces you to be wet, right? Kids don't force you to be happy. Family life doesn't force you to be happy. It doesn't result in happiness the way that jumping in the water results in you being wet, or the way that 2 + 2 results in 4. It's not like that. What it does is it opens up the opportunity for a unique and in many ways kind of indescribable kind of happiness. It makes it available to you. It invites you into that kind of happiness, but you can decline the invitation. I mean, you can definitely be miserable with kids. And you can be more miserable than you were before.
That's fair.
Let's be honest about that. Because family life invites you into a particular and particularly profound kind of happiness. If you decline that invitation, then as a consequence, you will have a particular and particularly profound kind of misery. That's true. And that's because the type of happiness on offer is happiness in the truest sense. It's not just pleasure or, entertainment or whatever. It's happiness, and happiness in its purest form is by definition unselfish. So you have to be willing to step outside of yourself to look at something other than your own reflection in the mirror. And some parents are just not willing to do that. They never do it. They never get out of their own heads. They never get out of their own egos. And so they suffer as parents. They suffer in a life where great joy is right there. It's right in reach. But they won't stretch out their arms and grab it. And this is the case 100% of the time. 100% of the parents that you encounter who are absolutely miserable and hate being a parent. I'm not denying that those people exist. They do.
That's so wild.
But in 100% of cases, the reason why they're so miserable is because they are too selfish to allow themselves to experience the great joy that is available to them. And then then it's compounding, because that just makes them more miserable. Right.
Interesting.
And the kind of happiness that's available to you is it's when you're a parent, it's all around you all the time. And there's also a lot of annoyances that are available to you.
For sure.
All the time.
All the time.
There's a lot of inconvenience. There's a lot of annoyance. There's a lot of, you have to do things you'd rather not have to do. You have to, there are, I'd like to just hang out on a Saturday morning, but I got to go do this for the kids, whatever. So you do have that all the time. That's always all around you. But you also have these little joys that are always around you also. And it's totally up to you what you choose to focus on. I mean, it's completely up to you what you choose to focus on. You don't always realize how bad.
And I talked about this because I get to sit in church with my mom and my daughters and my wife. And it just cracks me up because I'm like, I get to sit here with my mom. They get to sit here with their grandmother. She gets to sit here with her mother-in-law. And if at any point one of us was entirely too selfish, my mom was too selfish to have me or not, whatever, all this would have been changed. And it just seems such a, I don't understand the narrative. I don't want to have kids. And in the article that he was talking about, the people said they wanted to go back and they regretted having children. That's crazy. Now, again, you can say, hey, I wasn't prepared, or I didn't fully understand, or I didn't have a good parenting situation, so I really am not the best parent. I can totally get that. But to say, hey, I want to go back and I don't want to be a parent anymore, I can never say that. I absolutely love being a dad. I absolutely love being a dad. I don't think I'm the best dad by a mile. But that's just crazy work, though. What in the world are we doing? That's just crazy work, man. Why do we do this? Why have we done this to ourselves, to the point that now so many people don't have children, that the crazy amount of them, when they pass away, their wealth or whatever they built, whatever they're fighting for and clamoring for to accumulate, is just going to go to the state. It's just going to go to a nephew or niece. It's going to go to somebody that they don't even know. Why don't you at least want to pass it down to your own family? Why don't you at least want to pass it down to your own lineage? Don't you think that you would make the world a better place by creating other little yous and sending them loose on the world? What in the world? I don't know, man. That's just a sad video, man. Good gracious, man. And again, not a tacit attack on anybody who doesn't have children, but I'm just like, man, you have the ability. Why are you not excited about trying to have children if you could? And then if these people have kids and they wish they didn't have kids. That's just wild work. That's some next level wild work to me. That doesn't make sense. Shut out. All right. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. Thank y'all so much. I'm just looking real quick, see if I ran across anything. I didn't see where Michael Knowles talked about Candace Owens. I don't see that. And I know some people asked me about it, and I said, you know what, this might be a good time to talk about it, but I don't see where he addressed this. Oh, I just found it. Oh no, this is okay. No, this is Ben Shapiro confronts Michael Knowles about Candace Owens. It gets awkward. Okay, no, that's not the one I want. I want to see what Michael Knowles said recently. And I don't see it. I'm sure it'll pop up after I get offline. So wait, is this it right here? Oh, this might be it. Oh, it's chicks on the right. Okay. Let's see. Is this it?
Michael Knowles, God And
This strategy seems to be a little seem to think that the best way to honor Charlie's legacy and to
Okay, so I found it. It's but Chicks on the Right is discussing it. I want to hear without the Chicks on the Right commenting on it. Bum, 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 bum. Well, it's not that long, so let's run with it. Let's go. I don't see the other version of it, so I'm gonna check out Michael Knowles, and we will look at this very quickly. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts on it. You know, before we do that, though, let me ask the question. What do y'all think about what Matt Walsh said about having little people? What do y'all think about it? What do y'all think? How lonely that would be to end your life? Yeah, like, yeah, that was just such a weird take, man. That was wild. The video is misunderstood. This is the Michael Knowles video that's misunderstood. Okay. Well, okay. Let's pull it in. Let's check it out. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in with us. I do greatly appreciate it. God meant for some to be married with kids and some to remain single and childless, but we should allow God to judge. Okay. I don't know if anybody's judging. I'm just saying, like, do you think that everybody who's right now not having children is because God has called them to be single or be without children? It just seems like it would be almost counterproductive to be fruitful and multiply for all these people. Like, you know, here in Atlanta, we are really in the United States, Black people are past the replacement number, so that if every Black person right now passed away, they would not be able, and the children that are born today would not replace every person here. I think we kind of play footloose and fancy free with that. All right, what we got here? All right, let's bring this in. Right, I know a lot of people like this. Shout out to you for sure. Like Bernadette, I thank you. I don't know if again. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I would accept that it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing not to have kids, because one thing I think Matt Walsh doesn't talk about is the fact that having kids makes you think about the future. It makes me think about what I'm doing with my body right now. Am I doing the best for my body? And my kids say things, and my wife says you snore and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I got to do stuff for my body because I need to be around here as long as I can, right? Stuff like that, real simple things. But I probably wouldn't think about that if I didn't have kids, right? I just wouldn't. And there's tons of other examples where kids make you think about things in life differently and consider, like, again, you know, you come to Whitaker Park to do bad things because I'm protecting my wife and protecting my children. There are things that I am going to do to protect them that I probably wouldn't do if it was just me. I probably wouldn't do those things. There's safeguards that I have in place because my family's here. So kids make you think about things a lot differently. Makes me think about how I handle our finances here in the house. Our budget is different. Again, I think there's the benefit of having children is more than just you're selfish. I don't know if or you don't want to be selfish. I think there's a little bit more to it. All right, what we got here? All right, so let me go ahead and pull in Chicks on the Right. I do want to hear this take that Michael Knowles had. A lot of people have asked me about it. I really haven't heard it, so I am going to peep it. I didn't. They address it, but it looks like they bring the video in, so we can at least bring the whole video in and comment on it and that kind of good jazz. So if you don't mind, good people, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Michael Knowles, God love him. This is friend of the show, friend of the Chicks for like forever. I mean, when did we meet him? 2010.
Oh my God,
like we have known him when he
Yale. Was it Yale, right? He went to Yale.
Was
it Yale, right? That's where he went. We met.
Yeah, I think he's
when he was. Yeah, when he used to do stuff for Mitch Daniels. Mitch Daniels, as you guys know, is the governor of Indiana, and we love Mitch Daniels so much. And so when we lived in Indiana, we would, I guess, not do stuff for him, but we would be involved in state politics. And then he did some stuff that revolved around.
He started, he and his friend Max started the Students for Mitch Daniels, like, what's the word? Recruitment campaign, essentially.
They wanted him to
get
run.
him to be president.
Right. And we would have loved that too. So we met him during that time, and he was so young. So young precious. And adorable. Yeah. And so we met him and his friend during that time. Yeah. So it was a long time ago.
Michael Knowles, obviously, very prominent figure at Daily Wire. And, you know, we've been on his show and I love him. I mean, he is precious, but he's wrong. He's wrong about how he is framing his opinion about speaking out against Candace, or not speaking out against Candace, I should say. And he's being very critical, as a matter of fact, of people who are speaking out against Candace. And here he is to explain his rationale.
Because I've noticed it in recent days, recent weeks. I want to be charitable about this because I think it comes from a normal part of human nature, but it's worth paying attention to. It's worth learning good oratorical lessons from the president here. Some right-wing influencers seem to think that the best way to honor Charlie's legacy and to support Erica and the family is to spend all of their time talking about the people criticizing and antagonizing Erica and Charlie's friends and family. Does that make a lot of sense to you? There are people who seem to think the best way to honor Erica and TPUSA and Charlie is to focus all of the attention all the time on the relatively few people who are criticizing and antagonizing Erica. The most
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. That's a bad take. I see some people. That's a horrible take, because you would not say this you wouldn't say this in the opposite, because I don't see him. I was looking. I don't see a video of him saying that people antagonizing Erica Kirk and TPUSA, that they're wrong. It's always, this is something that we have got to stop. It is always people on the right, people who are in the right, who capitulate to the child on the cereal aisle, right? It's always the adults that capitulate to the children. And this is him making the case that adults need to capitulate to children. Following this logic, then there should have been no push for the abolition of slavery in the United States. That was a lot of people making. There was not a lot of slave owners, by the way. There weren't a lot of slave owners in the United States. There wasn't millions of slave owners. There was a very small number of people that own slaves in the United States. So following that logic, we shouldn't do that. Following that logic, then, you know, hey, we could follow this out in every aspect. And I guarantee you, Michael Knowles would not amen some of those other pushes. So then why are we doing this, Michael? That would be the very valid question. Why are we doing that? Okay, so let's bring this back in and let's see how he goes.
Famous, of course, being Candace, who I guess has a new series about Erica, but some other people too, some smaller accounts as well.
Yes.
This theory.
The whole idea, like, I did not mean to stop again. Oh, she just has a series about Erica, but we're going to just pish-posh, wave that away. These are not the droids that you're looking for. Sir, why are you just skipping over that? I'm sorry. Why does that just get a hand wave? Oh, yeah, she got a series. Oh. Excuse us? Excuse us. Make that make sense, sir. Yeah, this is a bad take. Whoever told me that, yeah, this is a horrible take.
Wow. This strategy seems to be a little bit misguided, wouldn't you say?
No.
Whether you love Candace, whether you hate Candace, whether you think Candace is sincere, whether you think she's insincere, whatever psychobabble analysis you have, do you think it makes sense, if you want to support someone, do you think it makes sense to focus all of your attention all the time talking about someone antagonizing that person?
This is such a shit take.
It's a bad take.
It is a bad take. And like somehow chastising people like us, spending all of our time.
Well, I mean, he may not have even thought of us. Like he might.
Okay, but people like us. Entirely. But people like us. Literally, when Candace is, in fact, spending all of her time tearing down Charlie's legacy. That's what she's doing, essentially. So it is a terrible take. I mean, it's just awful. And listen,
that again, if that's what he's saying, and again, I just literally pulled it up, so I haven't watched anymore. I was trying to see if there's more to this. But what I heard right there is completely ridiculous because we don't do that anywhere else. There's nowhere else that you hear. Is always people on the right capitulating to the people on the left to some degree, shape, or form. The adults capitulating to the children to some way, shape, or form. This is exactly how the Democrats became where they are, got to where they are right now, because they kept giving in to the radical left on their team. And they just kept capitulating. But now it's like, hey, don't call out things. And again, Candace isn't the only one. We could talk about Project Constipation. We could talk about Ian Carroll, fill in the blank. There's tons of them already. But no, like, why would you not call them out? Like, explain that to me. How does ignoring them make it go away? And again, I think somebody needs to push back on Michael Knowles and ask him that. Like, how does ignoring it make it go away? You don't see that in anywhere else in life. If you ignore your bill, you ignore your light bill, you're not gonna have the lights. I mean, I'm being silly, but like for real, where do you see ignoring something and it goes away actually working? And given the fact that Michael Knowles is a professed Catholic, Scripture teaches us to resist the devil and he will flee, not ignore the devil and he will flee. But we have to resist them. So how do you expect us to resist them that he may flee, Michael Knowles? Explain that to us. There's no scriptural, nothing backs and supports what he's saying. This is just his machinations off the top of his dome. He's just coming up with a thought. I just got an idea. And it's so funny. It's always an adult trying to dumb down so that we can capitulate to children. And why is that? Just seems wild. Okay, let's go.
I ask, these two guys, both of them are Catholic. I know people are going to get pissed off at me for saying this, but Catholics need to be calling her out rather than just kind of going along. They need to be calling her out because there are such great Catholics out there who I think they don't understand. Well, the good ones understand, but these guys don't understand that she has hijacked Catholicism. That's what she's doing. She and the Carrie Pajans and all of those people, they're hijacking it. The Catholics that are good Catholics need to start calling her out and saying, this is not okay, because she's taking our religion and she's running with it. And she's taking other Catholics who are buying into this garbage.
I just feel like he's minimizing. I mean, the Catholicism aside, I feel like he is minimizing so much the power of Candace's influence. And that's the real reason that it requires, I think, more and more and more voices to step up. Because if there is no counter to her and people continue to follow her by the millions and absorb what she's saying, and there is no counter message, then we're going to end up with more and more people just being like, yeah, she's right. She must be right. Because look at all the people that are following her. That many people can't be wrong. Well, there has to be a counter to that.
And it needs to be stated that she's not a Catholic and she's not a conservative. That needs to be like, people need to start saying that as much as humanly possible, because she's not. The people that she's attracting are freaking liberals who hate Trump, who hate this administration. Sure. They're leftists. They hate this administration and they want to see it destroyed. And she wants to see it destroyed for some whatever reason that is. And I'm assuming it's because she was never a conservative to begin with. Because
what would Michael do if people were attacking his wife in this way and all of her friends or all of his friends just didn't say anything? And it was and I'm not talking about just rando losers on the internet. I'm talking about somebody as big as a Candace. Right. What if Tucker Carlson all of a sudden just started trash talking Michael's wife
and calling his wife a pedophile?
Yes. Or saying that she used to be a guy or whatever the new case is with Candace. I mean, he wouldn't want like people who recognize right from wrong to speak out in her defense. He would just want everybody to shut up and be like, well, I mean, it's just Candace. Like, what's the big deal?
It's just
Tucker. I don't understand
your
this
analysis is psychobabble.
Right. I mean, it just, it's mystifying to me. And I was surprised. And I get that there is a very close relationship that he has with Candace. He is the godfather of at least one of her kids. And so I understand that there's a really tight relationship there.
I understand that, Mock, but listen, I know if you were doing this, I love you. You are up there with my family. You are my family. If you were doing whack, crazy stuff, I'd call your ass out.
Right.
Like,
and you would do it privately, which
Right.
maybe we can assume that he has done that privately with Candace. I don't know.
Okay, I hate this argument about doing something privately. I'm so sick of it. And please do not bring up to me Matthew 18 about take it to your brother privately. Don't do that. Please do not do that. Do not do that. I'm telling you right now, don't do it, because it doesn't apply in this situation by a mile. Let me continue. I'm so sick of this. They got to take it to him privately. If you love somebody, you must tell them the truth. Why would you allow your family member to drive drunk? You wouldn't do that. So you would do everything to stop them from driving drunk within your power. Calling the police, taking their keys, taking their car, taking the wheels off their car. You'd probably do anything and everything to keep your family member from driving drunk. Why in the Lord's name would there? And if you knew that other people knew, you would probably incorporate them and bring them along with you to confront this person. You would not allow this to be a case. This is a bad argument. I'm sorry. And it doesn't matter. If you love your God children and you're the godchildren of Godfather Candace's children, that gives you even more reason to call her out. Because I care about you and your family. A godfather or godmother is not just a title. It's not just a role. Like, oh, I'm chief dog washer. Like, oh, I'm somebody's godfather. You're supposed to be there as a godly representative, both in life and in death. But you don't demonstrate that, then you're doing a poor job of being a godfather. Maybe, what are you doing? What's the purpose of you being a godfather if you're not going to call out the person that is doing something wrong? And it doesn't have to be that you're concerned about Erica and TPUSA. What you're doing is wrong. You can't tell me that Candace that Michael Knowles, you look at what she's doing and you think that's happy and healthy. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that. All right, let me get this finished. So yeah, I agree with Chicks on the Right for sure. Let me finish this up. Wait, that's not right. Let's do it like this. All right, let's go.
But that's the step. Those are the steps, right? You go to your friend and you say, listen,
Absolutely.
I feel like you are being so evil right now.
Right.
And it is like hurting my heart. And I'm afraid that if you keep it up, since we're both public figures, I'm going to reach a point where I'm going to have to say to my audience who is expecting me to address this, that I disagree with it and I disavow it. And I just need you to know personally, because we are friends, that is the road you are leading me down. So when I do say something to the public about it, I want you to know that we've obviously had this conversation. You need to know where I stand. I would never do that without having this conversation with you privately first. Why is that hard?
Yeah.
Why could he not say that?
Unless he doesn't disagree with her.
Well,
I don't think, I think it's more cowardness than it is he agree. I don't think Michael knows. I don't think Michael Knowles agrees with her. I mean, there could be some teeth there. I don't believe that. I believe it's more cowardice.
Sort of said that he did, kind of, but like it's so tepid. You know what I mean? It's such it's just so tepid.
I don't know, Mom.
So here's an account named Ant on Twitter who said Knowles is the godfather to one of Candace's kids. That should tell you how close they are. And that his mental gymnastics in trying to come across as somewhat neutral here are just laughable. Candace has a huge audience. Stupid people, and there are plenty, are drawn to low IQ content, and she is the master at producing it.
She is.
Unfortunately, it is not harmless. And in fact, it may even be putting Erica Kirk's life at risk. There is absolutely zero logic in trying to defend or excuse what she's doing. I completely agree.
I mean, listen, I'm a godmother to several people, but if their parents were acting like crazy people, I would be like, I'm going to call them out. I mean, I love you, but this is just like all the things you said. There's a time and a place. Like, if you love people, you are honest with them.
And it becomes important to speak out publicly when you're dealing with somebody who has made this such a public spectacle. Like it's all it's meaningless when it's just like your rando internet stranger. But when it's someone with this amount of influence and you're not gonna just say what's obviously right and wrong, and I don't understand
but
that.
I will go back to unless he doesn't think it's actually wrong.
Right.
And this is what I'm wondering about him and the Matt Walshes. Maybe they don't think that what she's doing is wrong. Maybe they actually are in her corner.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I mean, I can get it. I just don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I just, maybe I don't want to believe that I want to say it's just cowardness, but I could be wrong. I'm sorry. Somebody just posted a video.
Charlie.
Okay, you guys, there is a
that I think is interesting. Okay. No, I'm not gonna go to it. But anyway, it is like an interesting video. Okay, shout out to the best live chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Matt Walsh has called her out. Right. I don't know why they brought Matt Walsh into that. I did think about that as well. Like Matt has been very clear in his separating himself from Candace. So I don't know how he ended up catching strays, but shout out for sure. Okay. Decent shout out, Sal. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, it's 100% cowardness for sure. All right. Now there is a video. Shout out to Crusader Chick who sent me a video talking about Tucker. I haven't been keeping up with Tucker. I ain't gonna lie. I think Tucker is just, I don't like him. I don't like him as a person. I don't find the value in Tucker Carlson. And this is long before this. I just did not find Tucker to be somebody that I could get with and spend a lot of time with. But I want to hear just something. Tucker Carlson, some allegations about Tucker Carlson and his deal with Iran. Let me make sure I understand this correctly. So let me bring it in. And Green Hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Tucker Carlson might be going to prison. I have some reported information that dives a little deeper on Tucker's contact with IRGC personnel, how President Trump used this to take out Khomeini and surprise the IRGC. So as many of you have seen, Tucker had this to say on his show.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Talking to who in Iran, Tucker? Because people don't get arrested for talking to people in Iran. In fact, many Americans talk with people in Iran, family, friends, etc. That is, when they are able to around the times the IRGC cuts off the internet and services, but you seem to figure it out. That is, you are speaking with people in the IRGC. About what? We may have that information, and this will reportedly all be released in these next coming days or so.
They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that.
No, they didn't read your text, Tucker. They were actually monitoring the calls and messages of our enemies, the same ones plotting against us and screaming consistently, "Death to America." Do you remember Robert Hansen, the FBI counterintelligence agent who secretly spied for the Soviet Union and later Russia for over 20 years until 2001? He was arrested not because the U.S. was monitoring Hansen at first, but because they discovered him by analyzing information coming from Russian intelligence files. Same thing here. If this information is reportedly true, President Trump knew about Tucker's traitorous betrayal of the United States and gave him false information, like he had no intention of attacking Iran. This explains the increasing amount of appearances Tucker had to the White House leading up to Operation Epic Fury. Tucker would then pass that information on to our adversaries, which gave the IRGC a false sense of security. This would include opening up Khomeini to an airstrike, along with countless other IRGC leaders who are all now dead. So don't believe Tucker watering down what is happening with this investigation in his video, where he seems extremely nervous, shaken, and uncomfortable. Use a little bit of sense. You don't get in trouble and accused of being a foreign agent charged under the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938 simply for just speaking to Iranians. I know that. You know that. And Tucker supporters deep down know that as well. We shall see how this plays out over the next coming days, but if it is even halfway true what is being reported and what I have on good measure will be released soon, then he is, to put it lightly, fucked. Tucker Carlson might be going to prison. I have some reported information that dives a little deeper on Tucker's contact with IRGC personnel.
What do y'all think? I mean, Tucker, he might be in trouble. I can see that. I can see that for sure. Um, man, I just hate that we have to do this with people that at one point most of us would think represented great American values in such a not great America, but represent American values. Like, why is this? Yeah, this is Graham Allen calling out. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in. So I'm gonna bring this up in a second. I just it's sad to see, man. Like Tucker, like and Tucker will open up his mouth and say he's America first, blah blah blah. But you continually cape, you constantly cape for other entities, for other bodies, other nations. You have no problem with that at all. That's crazy work, man. That is absolute crazy work. But it is what it is, and if he ends up catching hands for it, let it go. Let it be what it is. He messed around. He's going to find out. Right. He visits Qatar. He's bought property in Qatar. He bought a home in Qatar. Like, that's crazy work. So, yeah. All right. He's an opportunist. Okay. I can dig that. No argument for me. Yeah. I think nobody is ignoring Candace. I think the problem is, and to the point that Michael Knowles was making, I don't think anybody should ignore Candace. I think we should continually jump on her, ride her bumper every time we get an opportunity. Like, why should we let her go? Why should we let her off the hook? Explain it to us, please. All right, let's keep this going. All right, real quick, Graham Allen also, he addressed the quote unquote, we'll just call this recording gate, right? That happened this weekend when, I mean, it was dumb from the word go. It was debunked before the guy got finished uploading it. But let's go ahead and bring this in. Let's talk about it real quick. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Break this down. The audio file of Erica Kirk grooming young girls to Epstein, absolutely fake. Everyone knows it's fake. It's part of the FBI investigation. This Project Constitution loser, this clown that hides behind a fake identity, he knows it's fake. He knows it's not Erica Kirk. Ian Carroll and all these other people, they also know. And Ian Carroll has come out and said, oh, I didn't say it was Erica. I said, let's see how this plays out. Okay, you're doing the same thing. I'm going to give scissors to my 2-year-old and let's see how this plays out. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're saying. It's so fake and it's so bad that the cult leader herself, Candace Owens, has now even had to make a statement stating that it is not real and it is not Erica Kirk. Why? Because it's so insane. It's so egregious that Candace has now she has to go against it to try to make it seem like she actually has any kind of credibility whatsoever. But what Candace Owens has to know is she is responsible for this because these crazy people listen to you every day, Candace, and you feed them every day the lies, the slander, the vengeance, the rage, the aggression of non-truths, non-facts. You're just asking questions, and that's fine. You can ask as many questions as you want. But when you only are interested in asking questions and you don't really care about the truth, it becomes nothing but division, chaos, more rage, more division, more chaos, more rage, until eventually you're going to get someone hurt or your crazy followers are going to get someone hurt, all of it. And also to Michael Knowles and everybody else that is remaining silent because they don't want to get involved in the podcast wars. This fake tape, well, it's a real tape, but it's not Erica Kirk, has been seen by millions because the sit around and not say anything doesn't work either. So you can say whatever you want about me. You can call me whatever you want. I will continue to stand up for the widow of my friend Charlie Kirk. And for any of you who still support what's happening and what's going on, we are not friends. We are not the same. We are not together on this. And you're right. There is a civil war, and only one side's going to win.
Shout out to Graham. Shout out to Graham Allen. I agree with him 100%. I agree with him 100%. And I see no reason for us or the adults in the room to capitulate and give in to the tantrum throwing toddlers on the cereal aisle. Why are we doing that? Explain to me why we do that. I don't understand. But shout out to Graham. I agree with him. He's right on the button. And we need to continue to call her out, make their lives miserable. Don't let them get any duck and cover. Don't let any of their slop and their lies slide through the nope. We're gonna call it out and just keep doing it every day upon every day. Like, why not? Or why would we not do that? It makes no sense. Shout out to Todd. Okay, so Todd Shannon, shout out to Todd. He's a friend of the channel. He did a review of Michael Todd and Ben Shapiro. I don't know if I got time though. I'm gonna check, see if I can speed this up a little bit. Let me see if I can speed up. Maybe it might be worth popping in. Let me I'm gonna speed it up a little bit just to see if it, as long as it doesn't sound weird. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. So let me I want to speed it up because I do want to make sure we're not going to be super long. Let me bring this in. Todd Shannon, friend of the channel. Todd, thanks. Moderators, feel free to drop his link down in the chat. Thank you so much to my great subscriber who just told me about this. Ada, thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. All right, let me pull this in and let's check out what Todd is talking about. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he wants to come on. So let's do this real quick, y'all. Green Arts in the chat when you can hear.
Hello, good people. It is Todd Shannon, data scientist, social commentator, getter of buckets, and today I'm going to talk to you about the problem of intelligence. The problem with being hyper intelligent. The problem with being hyper intelligent is that oftentimes we can talk ourselves into and convince others that choices that are on the table are not the only two choices, when sometimes life just restricts the available options to you. And when you don't want to choose the more difficult of those options, even though it's the right thing, you can talk yourself into some third option and still try to maintain what you perceive to be, or what others might perceive to be, your moral rightness, or the fact that you are taking a plausible course of action and using all sorts of prudence and nuance, when really you're just making excuses. But if you're really, really smart and you're really, really good with words, you can make these non-choices seem like they're plausible, like they're right, like they're really on the table when they aren't. And to me, the best illustration that I can think about this is in the Avengers movie. And I would show a clip of it, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. So I'll just explain it to you if you haven't seen the movie, or maybe you have seen it, but this will jog your memory. There's a conversation that Captain America and Tony Stark are having early in the first Avengers war, in the first Avengers movie, I should say. And this dichotomy between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, Captain America, is one that they actually do a great job kind of building up, because both of them are leaders and are hyper important to the overall kind of plot of the Avengers saga, right? But early on, Steve Rogers has a very different ethic, right? Steve Rogers is a war hero, right? He's an old school war hero. He has old school values. He has bravery and courage. And everything that made him special was not actually his super strength and all of those things, but it was his values. And Tony Stark is kind of the exact opposite of that. Tony Stark is kind of like, super smart, hyper intelligence, right? And he made all of his money through these weapon designs. And so there's this contrast between him and Steve Rogers. And they're having this argument, right? And Steve Rogers says, hey, Tony, you're a selfish guy. I'm paraphrasing, right? You're not the type of guy that will lay down on a tripwire, sacrifice himself for his friends. And then Tony Stark says to him, well, I'll just cut the wire. And, Captain America, he just kind of smiles and smirks and just says, yeah, just like you, man. Oh, you always got a way out, don't you? You always got to answer to the, a third option, right? And that was an important aspect of the kind of the character arc of Tony Stark, because later in that movie, in that Avengers movie, Tony Stark would have to make the difficult choice where, quote unquote, cutting the wire was not the option. This was the one where Loki was the villain, and he had opened this huge portal wormhole, and all these aliens are coming in and destroying New York. And in order to close this dimensional portal, Tony Stark has to make a decision to basically go up into that wormhole and effectively blow himself up, right? And he has to sacrifice himself. So in that situation, there is no cutting the wire option. You either lay down your life for your friends, or everyone dies. Those are the two choices. Now, in the movie, right, because of movie magic and plot armor, right, Tony Stark ends up making that decision, but it ends up working out where he doesn't actually end up having to kill himself. But the point is that this was a very important part of Tony Stark's character arc, where he ended up making the right decision. That conversation that he and Steve Rogers had earlier, it came to fruition, and he proved to be someone who would lay down his life, lay down on a tripwire for his friends, and he survived it. And as a result, he ended up earning Steve Rogers respect, and the rest of the Avengers. And then Tony Stark obviously ends up being kind of the main. He ends up embodying that in the end game, where he literally snaps his fingers, destroys Thanos, and sacrifices himself. So that comes to fruition. That was a long way around to say this. This conversation that we're going to watch about Michael Knowles and Ben Shapiro having this conversation about how to deal with Candace. This is this exact scenario. It's the exact scenario. Michael Knowles thinks he's smart enough to, instead of laying down on the tripwire and taking the L because it's right, because it's virtuous, because it's good, because it's courageous, these are the only two choices. You either lay down on the tripwire, take the blast, and save everyone, or everyone dies. But Michael Knowles thinks he has a different option. He thinks he has a better option. He's too smart. He's Tony Stark before the maturation. Okay. He thinks he can just cut the wire. And he wants to make himself sound plausible, but it's kind of sad and pathetic because it's just excuse making. And I'm going to show you that right now. This is a sad thing because Michael Knowles is really smart. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Let's have a look at this to illustrate what I mean.
Not just, quote unquote, what is the purpose? Obviously, listen, I think that there's a purpose to calling out evil where it occurs, because calling out evil where it occurs is a good thing to do on a moral level. And so if Candace Owens decides to slander the widow of Charlie Kirk, I think that people have a moral duty to say that this is a bad thing, even if they are, quote unquote, friends with those people. And I find it
but let's take that further. So obviously one should state one's view and say, you know, Erica's great and the attacks on her are not right.
Well, Michael, I'll just ask you straight up. Is Candace Owens doing something evil by attacking Erica Kirk?
I think that it's wrong to attack Erica Kirk.
Well, no, say the sentence with her name in it.
I'm not going to dance like a puppet for the podcast.
You don't have to dance like a puppet, but you are dancing pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of tap dancing here.
I don't use any tap dancing.
Even if you aren't interested in the podcast, where's the podcast?
And I think the people who are leading the invective against Candace are her biggest publicists. And I hope
leading the invective against Candace. I mean, this I take a little bit of umbrage at. I don't feel that it's invective to say that what she is doing to Erica Kirk is totally demonic.
No, that is invective. It could be justified invective, but it's certainly invective. My point is, all
when's the last time you used the term invective to talk about justified invective? Give me a break.
No, of course. The three most famous speeches in Dante are the invectives, and they're totally justified. Invective can be a good thing. My point is just that what is the goal of that? Is the goal to make oneself feel really morally good, to puff oneself up to one's friends and fans, or is the goal to try to reduce, the popularity of some show? Because if it's the latter, it's not working.
No. It's just about stating principles. That's what we're here for. That's our job.
One can easily do that without focusing all of this attention.
We actually cash checks because we state our principles, and it is a real question. This is not. I'm totally against calling people out and calling people names. I think it's a bad thing, but I'm not against calling out evil. I mean, Ben's right. This is the basic. It's the basic.
But no one disagrees
bottom
about
line.
That. No one disagrees.
But you don't do it. And I think.
I've made my view on the Erica Kirk thing completely clear.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
but I mean, look. Tucker Carlson is sitting around saying that American soldiers, implying that American soldiers want to rape Iranian women, and that's what Donald Trump meant by
unconditional surrender.
Unconditional surrender. I mean, that's a disgusting thing to say. American soldiers have been the best behaved soldiers on earth in human history, and I just think it's when people say that stuff, something's wrong with them. Something has gone wrong with these people, and it's not
but
the same.
Why would we publicize it? I guess is my question.
We don't need to publicize it. As you said, they're tremendously popular. But the thing about it is, like, if you take someone like Candace, I believe Candace is popular with people who no longer matter. Anybody who's taking what she says seriously on any level is already lost to the light, as far as I'm concerned. Tucker's a little smarter, although he's starting to go, when you get infested by demons, after a while you're crab walking across the ceiling, cursing at the priest. I mean, that's what happens. That's the trajectory of that. But I mean, at some point, you stand for something, or you don't stand for anything.
Right, well, but no one is. I think that's a false dichotomy, basically. I think we're saying, well, you need to state your principles. You need to state what you believe. Yeah, sure, we all agree on that. The only question that I have is, should the podcasters be spending all of their time talking about each other in these metapolitical fights and promoting each other's clips, for goodness sake?
Okay, so first of all of their time is a wild exaggeration as far as I am concerned, because last I checked, what actually happened is that I made one speech at TPUSA and then said literally nothing for months about any of these people.
And they're attacking you. I'm not. It's not just you. I'm not even saying you're leading it. I'm really not.
The only point that I'm making here is that if these people do have a great level of popularity, which they do, and they are saying things that are bad, which they are, calling out the bad things that famous people are saying and doing is actually the thing that we do for a living. And we do it for politicians. Michael, you do it for commentators on the left. We play clips of these people all day long on our shows. When those people are, quote unquote, purportedly on our side, and some of them are in the ear of the vice president of the United States, then it sometimes becomes a little important to actually call that out. And that is the thing that I think is, now listen, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, it's a free country, and you're well within the Overton window in your opinions, as far as I am concerned, even if we disagree about your approach to these particular personalities. I mean, many of our hosts have appeared and continue to appear on the shows of the very people that we are talking about. And at no point have I or anybody at the Daily Wire said that they should not do that.
Okay, so I let that run a little longer than I normally would because I think it's important to ingest all of that in context. Now you understand why I set this conversation up the way I did, with the illustration between the conversation between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Because Michael Knowles is purporting to have a third option, right? He's saying calling out evil by name, right? Or allowing it to happen and saying nothing are not the only two options. In this case, it is. I just want to frame this for you so that we can understand it in a different context. The idea that ignoring someone means necessarily that the problem goes away.
It's crazy.
Is completely asinine. It's completely asinine. Nick Fuentes is a thing right now in many respects because he was ignored. He was ignored for years. His diseased empire, his social network existed underground, away from the prying eyes of the general public. And his appeal grew and grew and grew until it became so big that it couldn't be ignored. But at that time, at that point, it was too big to do anything about. Everyone knows that when someone gets a lot of social momentum, right? It's like a rock rolling downhill, right? It's like a snowball, matter of fact, rolling downhill. The bigger the snowball gets, the harder it is to stop. And so you have to snuff some of this stuff out in its infancy. Now, the difficult thing with Candace is that Candace was already huge. She was already enormous. And so the actual, this is the thing that I have been saying, and I made this video a few months ago, where I said that that people on the right, people who know her, people who don't know her, anyone with a platform, need to, in one unified voice, in a single unified voice, say, this is wrong, we repudiate it. And the reason why Candace still persists is because what we had is, and what we have right now, is a bunch of very, very small creators, people who don't have the sort of platform that some of these larger creators are doing. We have all of these little ones, these little creators saying the thing that the ones with the platform and the influence should be saying. And the problem is that this is an ants versus elephants situation. The conservative commentators in aggregate, if they all in one unified voice had a, just like they always say, you have 5 fingers, right? They're much stronger when they're together, right? To form a fist. The reason why we can't knock this diseased movement out in Candace Owens is because cowards, I have to say the word, because I think that Michael Knowles is doing the thing. He's doing the tap dancing. He's doing the excuse making. He's justifying in his mind what he thinks is a reasonable third option when that option is not on the table. And the reason why he's trying to justify it is because he doesn't have the courage to do the right thing, because he is going to have to take a blow in doing so. And how is he trying to spin it? Well, we're publicizing these people. What the heck are you talking about, Michael Knowles? Publicizing them? Candace Owens is bigger than you. She doesn't need your promotion. She doesn't need it. She's already huge. You know who she's not bigger than? She's not bigger than the conservative coalition in aggregate. The same thing is true. The same thing is true with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is huge, but he's not bigger than the conservative movement in aggregate. Even Donald Trump finally decided that he had had enough of Tucker's nonsense and decided to call him out by name. Even the United States, just think about it. We are the most powerful military force, maybe in the history of the world. No country in their right mind would challenge us straight up, right? They can't do it. But could you imagine if all of the nations of the world decided, we're sick of the U.S., and they decided that it was the U.S. versus the world? Do you think we could beat them then? I don't think so. Except the Lord, obviously. Except the Lord make a way for us to, because, it is important to know that the winner and the losers of wars is not necessarily who has the strongest army and the most might, but whoever the Lord says, I'm on their side, or whatever the Lord wants to have because God is sovereign. That's a secondary point. But if we're dealing simply with military might in general, there's no way that we could take on the entire world. We can't take on China and USSR and, USSR, that's not a thing anymore, Russia, the former Soviet Union, right? We can't take on China and Soviet Union and Iran and, Britain and Spain and, all of these countries individually, no match for us. Together, they're a problem. They're a problem. It's important to understand this. And because people like Michael Knowles continue to make excuses instead of just doing the right thing, instead of in one unified voice saying enough, because in aggregate, we can take people like Candace down. In aggregate, we can take people like Tucker down. And I pray that Michael Knowles learns the trajectory that Tony Stark did, because his intelligence and his hubris is getting in the way of the only two choices he has, and he's pretending like he can cut the wire when he needs to just fall on it. But as the saying goes, many hands make the burden light. Everyone needs to pitch in. And my little channel is not going to get it done. But we do. I just have to say, there are many, many people who are doing yeoman's work, as it were. I just want to give a shout out to a few creators that I think you would do well to take note of and to listen to, because they are doing the right thing. The big homie Jay Witt podcast.
Hey, that's
Culture
me.
Proof, Meek and Will Addison, sorry.
Addison.
I may have to cut that out. Meek and Will Addison doing great things. Then we got you got many others like Paramount Tactical. You got a lot of other Graham Allen. There are a lot of small creators. These people are doing the right thing, right? There are many others. I can't mention all, but these are people that I know that I can vouch for, at least with respect to Jay Witt and Culture Proof, Meek and Will Addison. I know them personally. I don't know Graham Allen. I don't know Paramount Tactical, but I do know that there are a lot of small creators who are taking the time to do the work. We just need to get everybody on board. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are.
Okay.
Let me know in the comments. This to me is an important concept, and I really think we need to stop talking ourselves out of doing the thing that requires courage and principle. It doesn't require anything other than that. And so I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. If this is your first time coming by, make sure you come back, because there is definitely more where this came from. And if you are returning, I really appreciate you doing that. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if there's a hype button on this video, make sure you hype it, because the YouTube people say it's good. I appreciate you coming once again. And until next time, my friends, God bless you.
All right. So, okay. Shout out to Todd. I appreciate that one. That was good. No, I think he's right on the button. And I appreciate the mods dropping Todd's link in the chat. Y'all go check out what Todd is doing over there. Excellent, brother. We need to have him come back over here. Now, I'll reach out to him and see if he wants to come back over. We can do a little project or something of that nature. Love Todd. Shout out to Todd for sure. Thank you so much. And that was good. I do appreciate it. And I agree with him. Michael Knowles definitely, rather than do what is right, he's looking for another option out. And look, I like to find solutions to problems too. I like to find different ways to solve a problem. Totally get that part. But this one right here doesn't need to be different ways to solve a problem. There is one way to solve the problem. We don't need to find other ways to solve it. Just do the way to solve it. I hope that makes sense. So shout out for sure. Thank y'all very much. I was actually stalling because I was hoping that I was going to have a guest come on to discuss Candace, and the person is not going to be able to come on. I was going to surprise you all with a surprise impromptu, I don't say debate, but discussion. And he's not going to be able to come on. So I will, I'll just have to do it another time. If he comes on later, maybe maybe we'll do it again. This was an impromptu live stream. So I'll see if he wants to hop on. Let me ask real quick. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna see if he wants to. Last time, I want to see if he wants to hop on. All right, there we go. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you so much to the moderators. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for tapping in to all of the mods. Thank you so much to everybody who hopped in, who's jumped in, who's giving me some ideas for the show. Again, I was just kind of yammering, but shout out to y'all for helping me out, helping your boy out for sure. My goal is, if this person can come on, I will let y'all know, and maybe we'll redo this. We'll run it back. Because I think it would be a good conversation. So I was hoping that they could come on. I wanted to surprise you all with a conversation about Candace and such like that, but the person didn't get back to me. That was kind of like a little secret, but it is what it is. So shout out for sure. Thank you so much to the mods. Thank you to everybody who jumped into the best live chat on the internet. I really appreciate you. Always appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Do me a favor. If you didn't already, could you hit that like button? And could you also comment down below What did you think about Dinesh D'Souza's theory about why Candace is going after Erica? Because ultimately Charlie betrayed her. Let me know what y'all think about that theory. I think it has some legs. I think that theory has legs. I'm not gonna lie. So, and I like the way he said it. I like the way he explained it out, which is definitely better than the way I had teased it out. So shout out to Dinesh. I'll give him credit for that. Wait, what do we see here? Hold on. Did you see the Jay Wood collab with Tanash? It was so, yeah, shout out for sure. Thank you so much. We are hoping to have Tanash come back in again. Look, we got some plans for y'all. We got some collab, some team up plans. Don't you worry about that. Interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading some of your comments. That's wild. Oh man, Grasshopper. Well, we appreciate you following through nonetheless. Let's see. I don't think this person's gonna be able to come on. I am stalling to see if he's gonna say he's gonna come on or not. And then I'll give him a link and we can chop it up. I'm glad. Look, I'm glad y'all like Tanash for sure. Excellent content creator. Wonderful content creator. I'm looking forward to having him come back on one day, or maybe we'll go over there. Either way, we'll go over to his house. We'll go over to his house and cause some trouble. That'll be fun. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading it. I appreciate y'all for sure. Lots of good family reunion. You know, I always like that. So if anything changes, I will put up a thumbnail. You know, if he can come back on later on, I'll let y'all know ahead of time, and we can kind of chop it up a little bit and get ourselves ready. I didn't talk about this Target boycott. Darn it, I didn't talk about that. All right, I'm gonna save that one for tomorrow. Yeah, and shout out to the mental chiropractor. I forgot about the Target boycott. I want to talk about that. All right, we're gonna do that tomorrow. The mental chiropractor talked about it, as well as some other good content creators. April talked about it, all that kind of good stuff like that. But yeah, I want to hear what y'all think about that. Also, there's some good things there. I want to talk about that. I mean, a lot of people are torn, if you will, about the Target boycott. They're boycotting it. They're not boycotting it. They're for it. They're against it. Oh wow! Shout out to you, Melanie. See, grandchildren. See, that whole discussion about not wanting to have kids intentionally. This seems like weird to me. Yeah, shout out to you for sure. Congratulations to your daughter and son-in-law. Shout out to him. All right, y'all. Let's do this real quick. He is not going to be able to come on, so that's cool. All right, I will, but I'll let y'all know next time YouTube notify us when you go live. What did it say? How do we get YouTube to notify us when we go live? I'm having trouble with that. All right, so what I would suggest, and I actually did a video about this a couple years ago. It's on my channel about getting notifications. Go to the main page, unsubscribe, and close out your browser. Open back up your browser and resubscribe, and make sure you hit the bell notification, all that kind of stuff like that. That's the best way that I've heard that fixes it. And I would recommend, if you have a laptop or desktop, do it on a desktop. And that way, I've heard that's the best way, but I'm sure that other people are going to say some other ways to get notifications. But that's probably the most consistent, if you will, way that I've heard people are getting notified is just to unsubscribe. So break my heart for a second, close out the browser, open back up the browser, and then resubscribe, making sure you hit the bell notification and all those things like that. That's the best way that I've heard, most consistent way that I've heard so far. And a lot of it is just YouTube being YouTube. To be honest with you, a lot of it is just YouTube. I just go to the page and it tells me, okay, there we go, Juju. I appreciate it though, y'all. Thank you so much. All right, I am going to bug out of here because I was hoping that I was going to have a guest come on, but it did not work out. See, this is the true statement right here. YouTube just don't be playing fair. That's it. That's the true statement. But you didn't hear that from me. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tapping in. As soon as I'm able to nail down this guest, if he wants to come on today, then we'll do that, and I'll run it back. I'll make sure you have a notification though. Maybe we'll do it like 7 if he's able to jump on. But besides that, thank y'all so much for tapping in. Check out the Book of James playlist on my channel. My pastor's sermon is up. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I'll see you all real soon. Everybody have a great evening. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.